Howdy out there, and welcome to our next episode of our Don't Starve Let's Play. Where we had left off, we had found Chester, which is actually a huge boon. The game threw us a huge bone, pun intended, because, see, we found his bone. Get the joke? Yuck. So, we did find the eye bone. The game threw us an enormous boon there. So, Chester is now hanging out with us, and he's given us some extra storage capacity. He's kind of like an extra backpack. He's really cool to have if you wanted to wear a log suit or something of that nature. He is really helpful in that regard. So, the first thing I want to do in this situation is I'm going to have Chester hold on to some of my stuff so that I don't have to, basically. There we are. Thank you, Chester. Actually, I'm going to keep the spear on me just in case. And Chester, you are the best. Everybody loves you. And now what we're going to do, close off Chester here, we're going to research the log suit. So I'm going to refine some ropes. And we're going to go back up here to the fight menu, and we need some logs. So let's go ahead, and we're going to track down some trees. Ours haven't grown yet. Up here at Base Camp Rumble Blankets, we have set up a temporary living space. Now let's start charting out where some of these... What I've been thinking about doing is kind of building roads in between wormholes that I use pretty frequently. And I think that's probably a good plan. Now, oh, our stomach is almost empty. Bummer. So I'll eat some of these berries that are about to go bad anyways. And there we go. And I'm going to head back up here, and we're going to see where some of these wormholes go and figure out which ones are taking us to places we need to be. With any luck, we can build base camps next to each wormhole that will help us in surviving, or for a quick escape if need be. Where did this one pop us out? So this one popped us out way down here in the forest. So that's good, because we were looking for logs. So now we've got the opportunity to grab some logs, and we can jump straight back to our base, deposit things off, get the log suit researched, and then we'll be safe from hounds, which is my primary motive at the moment. I'm terrified that this Let's Play is going to end early based on the fact that I just haven't researched anything. I've spent the whole time running around, so it's making me feel a little paranoid. It should be making you feel a little paranoid. If you're on the same step that I am in your game, it's time to hustle. It's do or die. So day 10, hounds are going to show up. Beefalo are going to go into heat, so you need to be armed, you need to be armored, and you need to be ready. Now, my temptation here is we have a pig hut right here next to this wormhole. So if I can get my hands on some loot, I can actually give myself a reasonable supply of manure just by feeding that pig over and over and over again. So that's probably what my next goal is going to be, is to feed pigs tons of berries and things of that nature, get myself a bunch of manure, and then get my farming and my crops going up at Base Camp Rumble Blankets. There we go. Get myself another axe here. And I want to have a reasonable supply of wood on hand, just in case. We'll chop this tree down too, because he is obstructing my view, and I refuse. I will not rotate the camera. You cannot make me. And so, let's see here. Skills. Skills to pay the bills. And we got some seeds there, which is good, because our food situation is getting a little lower. Now, it is unfortunate that this wormhole is not closer to the Pig King. I found a Pig King off camera while I was kind of running around. It's unfortunate that it's not closer to him, but what can... Hey, get up! No! That bird ate my seeds, a little bastard. Alright. You little rat. Well, you little bird rat, I guess. Maybe I can scare some seeds out of that one. Nope. Alright, so let's head back to base here. We've got tons of logs. Down the wormhole, my friends. Adventure is out there. That's one of my, you know, the movie Up, that's one of my favorite. That movie was deceptively depressing. Did that get any of you guys out there? Like, I went and saw Up, and I was like, hooray, I'm gonna go see a Pixar movie. It's gonna be jovial, and it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna come out of this theater happy. And, like, the first, 20 minutes of that movie were so deeply depressing that I was just like, oh my god, what have I done to myself? And, I've talked to everybody that's seen the movie. I've talked to tons of people that have seen the movie, basically, and that's been the general consensus, is that the beginning of that movie just hoodwinked everybody. So now that we have Chester and we've researched the log suit, I feel so much safer right now. My tension level just dropped by probably 100%. We have Chester, we have the log suit. Let's get ourselves... How much wood do we have left over after that? Not very much. So we're going to refine ourselves some boards. And now that we have that, we're going to build ourselves a chest, because we need to start storing our stuff. So there's our prototype chest. And what I'm going to put in there, I think, are... Chester, come here, buddy. I don't want you carrying around random stuff. Can I open both these at the Chester? Come here. There we go. Can I open both of these? Oh, awesome. All right, so I'm going to transfer all this stuff from Chester because he's coming with me. He's my new friend and companion. He and I are going to hang out, and we're going to move all this stuff into Chester so that I don't have to carry it, or I'm sorry, into our chest. We're going to move it out of Chester and into our chest so that we don't have to deal with it. And Chester will act as our backpack from now on. He can get killed, though, so we're going to have to be careful. We need to keep him out of, like, serious combat. Like, we need to keep him out of ridiculous line of fire. But in general, Chester is going to be our backpack. And so if you find Chester, you should use him in a similar fashion. He is really useful. He's a really cool pet to have around. And I hope they add a lot more things like him. This time around, I don't think I'm going to build all my trees and things really, really close to my fire in case we get one of those exploding hounds. Because that was really disappointing when my entire base burst into flames in the last LP. So that fire should be suitable to get us through the night. I'm going to cook up some of these seeds here. Can I throw that? What happens if I put that there? Now, I'm going to play around with the bone here for a minute. Now, Chester's going to stay there, I think. Yep. That is such a cool... I love this game. I really do love this game. Like, that is... I love the whole concept of Chester. The entire concept of Chester just makes me grin a big Christmassy grin deep in my stomach. Like, it makes me want to laugh a Santa Claus or a Sinterklaas or a Father Christmas. Like, just a deep belly laugh. I really do enjoy that concept, and I do applaud the devs on just creating such a great character. So these trees are grown in now. They aren't at their max height, but I am going to get rid of a couple of them while we sit here and wait through the night. I know I promised I was going to start censoring out the night and whatnot, but people keep saying, show everything. Well, this is how it backfires, kids. So we're going to have to dig up these stumps in just a moment, and I do need to get some tools ready to go. Our next goal is going to be to track down some food, We need to track down a bunch of berries and a bunch of food, and then we need to feed it to pigs so that we can get manure. We're going to take that manure, and I know I'm talking like a flowchart here, but we're going to take that manure, and we're going to use it to fertilize plants here at Base Camp Rumble Blankets. And that should be the beginnings of our nice little town. And from there, I'm going to focus on gathering some grass, and I'm going to we have a pretty good supply of trees right now. So that's also kind of a tempting thing to do, is to make wooden walls, kind of some palisades around here to keep ourselves safe. But for now, we're going to stick with what we have. We have a nice little base camp set up here. It's nice and homey. We can take this to jump elsewhere. I think it jumped down to here, which means if we have we don't have enough stone, we can get more. And then we discovered that this one up here jumps us down to here. So we have kind of a quick jump back to the Pig King, kind of. We have a small walk, but I think if I build roads, it'll work out pretty well. So in the future, we're probably going to build roads in between here to here, but that is way off in the future. So let's get some tools ready for the following day. And where did Chester go? Oh, he's sleeping. Aw, how adorable. Adorable, adorable Chester. But he wakes up. He's so loyal. He wakes up so that we can loot our items from his bowels. Now, just kind of waiting for nightfall to end here, actually. I'm not sure what the use of monster meat's going to be now, other than baiting traps. Monster meat does not appear to be... I guess once it rots, we can use it to fertilize crops. So I guess once that's done, I'll leave a pile of rot there, and we can do that. So the plan now, I think, is going to be to find food. So it looks like we've got a pretty good density of bushes up here. So let's go find some berries, and we're off on another adventure. And I've got tons of berry bushes stacked around. We are ready to build our farming situation, just not completely. We need manure. That is the last thing, and we're making do without beefaloes right now because we don't really have a choice. We're hitting kind of that back end of our grace period here when it comes to how much time we have left before the game starts to escalate and before shit gets real, basically, and helicopters fly over our heads and we stand there posing. So our beard is getting really manly, though. Our beard is getting huge, so pretty soon we're going to need to shave that off and get ourselves some hairs, and we can set up a meat effigy. They did nerf meat effigies. I don't know if I talked about this already, but if I didn't, meat effigies now nerf your health, and they nerf your max health anyways, to be more clear. And until the meat effigy is used, you actually function, I think, with 20 less health as your maximum. So they did that as kind of a nerf to keep people from making dozens of meat effigies like they were doing. People were creating like they were creating basically terracotta soldier armies full of meat effigies so that they could basically never die, like their game could never end. And there was no way to like get around that, like the game couldn't win. And unfortunately the game is supposed to escalate and kill you eventually. It's kind of like Project Zomboid, where you're not supposed to last forever, you're just supposed to see how long you can last. But that's been nerfed now, so that's no longer an issue. We've got some more bushes over here to the right, so I'm going to grab as many berries as possible. And these spider dens, they are all growing, and I feel like we're going to have an army of spider queens on our hands if we don't burn these suckers down pretty soon. I think they buffed the speed at which they grow, which is just a terrifying thing altogether. I'm so glad we don't have to feed Chester, by the way. That's another thing that I'm really happy about. If we had to feed Chester, this whole situation would just be awful. And have we picked everything clean? It looks like we've more or less picked everything clean. That little boing noise he makes. I'm going to grab those seeds real fast. Food is definitely, I feel like they nerfed food pretty substantially. I don't know if you guys have noticed that in your playthroughs, but that's definitely a situation that I personally have been feeling the stress of. I've noticed that there's been a lot less food in the game. It's a bit more difficult to come by. We do need to set up some rabbit traps. Ooh, and more berries. I'm probably going to end up feeding most of these berries to pigmen just to get manure so that we can start sustainable farming. Because at the moment, we really have no way other than foraging to get more berries. And unfortunately these... Oh, there's our first gobbler. Bugger. I hate those things. I hate everything about them. Actually, I think that's probably... They were designed that way. Like, they look obnoxious. They make an obnoxious sound. They have an obnoxious function. So I'm pretty sure they were designed that way from the ground up. Now, I think we have time. How much wood do I have? I have enough wood to make a campfire in case this backfires on me. But I'm going to jump in the wormhole real fast. I think this was the right wormhole. And we're going to feed this pig over here as many of these as many of these berries as possible. Where are you, pig man? There he is. He's sleeping. Why is he sleeping in the middle of the day? Pig man? Oh. So apparently there's a limit to how much he will eat. Nope, he's full. So we are going to have to venture over here to the pig village real fast. And once we get there, we're going to feed them a bunch of berries. Hopefully we can get more berries while we're over here too. Pigs, wake up. Wake up, pigs. Hopefully they don't just like consume my berries and not wake up. That would be really disappointing. There we are. Duke it out, buddy. Get it all out of your system. Roughage. Fiber. Move, pig. Stay away! I don't want to touch you either, pig. You look furry. You need to shave your back. Did you hear that? What do you mean, did you hear that? The hell is that supposed to mean? Oh, that is not a good feeling. That is not cool, Maxwell. You can't just drop hints like that. Look, I have delicious berries. Eat them! Eat them and poo. They have quick digestional tracts. That is impressive. They process that stuff like nobody's business. No, he doesn't want any more either. So we need as much manure as possible. And the night's about to end. So we're just going to get as much Duke here. It's actually something gross. For some reason, for me, it's grosser picking up the poo of a sentient being than picking up the poo of a beefalo. I don't know why that is. For some reason, picking up a pigman's dung just feels more disgusting to me. Our hunger levels are looking a little precarious. And hopefully... God, it really needs to stop. I'm going to try and be quiet here for a second. Ah, damn it. We have our first set of hounds. So, yeah, I'm really glad we made the decision. I am really happy we made the decision to research spears and armor because I wasn't aware if they moved the timetable or not for hounds. And I don't know where this hound is. I'm going to jump in the wormhole. Forget it. Hopefully they don't jump in the wormholes with us. That would be a bitch if the hounds could follow us around. Now, that put us out somewhere near our base. We may need to pop a torch in order to get there in time. We may or may not. Oh. Christ. Alright, so let's get our fire set up. It looks like the hounds are going to sleep. Oh, they're eating the meat! I forgot that I left that meat on the ground. I was going to use it as fertilizer, so that's kind of disappointing that they got at my meat. But what can you do? You know. But in any case, my name is Splattercat. This is going to be the end of our next 2-day period. Thank you for joining me here. We're back safely at kind of Camp Rumble Blankets, so the day was ultimately a success. In this game, as long as you make it, it's a success. So we survived, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Please don't forget to like and sub if you are enjoying the video series. I will be creating more, and take care out there.